There we go. Hopefully we should be back up. Maybe. Come on. Come on. You know you wanna. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I thought sod it. I'll switch back to Snowrunner because I'll, you know. So yeah, sorry about that, but we'll switch back to Snowrunner. I'll find something to do on it. Could do the farming stuff. I have to get the thing up, so I might as well just take the K something or other and go do it. So, no, not you. From the garage. Looks like there's a road that goes this way. There's also a tarmac road that goes right past the cultivator we need to get to. So if we go... Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Try and get back up on and into it here. Yeah. Oh my god. This thing does jitter a lot. It's got it. Come on. Oh, God. There we go. Oh. Not the Tangela. Even though I gave nobody an option to catch the thing, it just told people that Tangela was gone. Oh well. The jiggling it's doing. So that is the poorest excuse for a rear view mirror, because, well, I can't actually turn out because the door's too far away. I suppose we can get some of these farming objectives done and unlock the other map, go scout it, see if there's any bridges or obstructions needed clearing, and then we can go do some of the bigger missions here. We're not exactly going quickly, so the fan is spinning faster than I am driving. Oh. Don't you dare flip over here. Don't you fucking dare. I got no patience for you flipping over. So yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to do a 2-3 hour stream today. Next week I may be streaming some 76 again, because an update comes out for it on Tuesday. I have plans for other things, but I want to wait a little bit before disclosing what ideas I have. Oh. Where's the entrance to this fucking farm? 1, where's the entrance to this fucking farm, right? 2, why the hell do I have to do it in the dark? Oh, Jesus. Oh. God. It's such a small cultivator. God, you can barely stay straight in this thing. It's jumping from furrow to furrow. But all you can do is really make the turns go back up and down, and then maybe come around to get them afterwards. Jesus, my God. The hell you do, was go no. Come on. The noise of that thing opening and closing is so damn loud. Dun 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 dun. It'll be 100. Yes. Really? I'm at 100%, but it's not 100%. You motherfucker. Now I gotta go plant the field with potatoes, I think. Ah, welcome. No, I didn't know there was a second person in the party. Yeah, I am. It's probably for the best, yes. Okay. Well, that is certainly dangerous. Hmm. There's no one here. It's just me right now. Yeah, that's fair. Unless Fang or Hex are lurking in there, it's just me. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm doing the most believably unexciting bit of Snowrunner. I'm doing farming. Yeah. Oh, there goes the cultivator. I don't need that anymore. I streamed it once. Actually, yes. Actually, yes. Actually, yes. It's like how I didn't expect Space Engineers to get viewers. It got viewers. It's a specific kind of viewership, but it is still viewers. I think Wes was in that farming sim stream, and she got more surprised that I got like. I think I had. It was like the second or third highest stream of viewers I'd got at the time, which was like 5 or 6 people. And just like, how do people watch you farm? So people watch me drive in Snowrunner. Dude. Yeah. they're harmless. At least the farming sim ones are harmless. The Snowrunner ones are not. They're not bad. They're just some of them can be a bit picky. And most of the Space Engineers ones that you encounter are quite intelligent, more intelligent than I am when I play. So, if you do something wrong and you don't notice, but they do, it's over for you. Did you do some piping wrong and you didn't notice? Well, they'll tell you 5 minutes ago in a timestamp, hey, you did some piping wrong. Well, that's fine. Listen, I'm doing this because I almost confirm guarantee Mason no way in hell wants to sit and do farming in Snowrunner. Mm. Mm. Guard the Christmas trees, huh? Fair enough. I hate this tractor so much. You know, if Mason ever does come back in the middle of me doing this, he genuinely thought I was joking when I sent, hey, you know, one of the DLCs you have to farm things, and he went, no. Why would you have to do that? And it's like, you do, because I did. It's not as complex as farming sim. You have to do 3 things. It's not. The amount of trouble you have to go through in Farming Simulator to farm potatoes is not. No. Stop it. There we go. I hate articulated vehicles so much. No. Ow. Alright. Oh my god. This is why tractors have weights on the front of them. Ah. No, because the harvester's too heavy for this vehicle. Because every time I brake, it does a wheelie. That's why there's like 800-pound weights on the front of tractors, because usually half of them can't handle the harvesters on the back of them. Oh. Well, it is currently, I am sat under as many blankets as I could find. It is -1 inside. Technically it says it's -2 or 3 outside, but and then I said, "What's the inside temperature?" -1. Ah, so it's pretty damn cold, but as long as I don't get out of bed, it's fine. That's only because of the bit of Britain I live, the weather is parallel with Norway and Sweden. Which means the only hot flashes we get is when the hot waves from France come around. But the rest of the weather is exactly like fucking Norway and Sweden. It's like, yeah, it's snow. Snow and ice. To point out exactly how cold it is right now, the condensation on the inside of my window has frozen. It's pretty damn cold. I can deal with heat better. That's coming from a British person that can't deal with the cold. But since most of my family's bloodline is either from America or Australia, they don't usually get cold. Not this cold. Not where they come from. So it's kind of difficult to not, you know. Meanwhile, yesterday, as per usual, because it's a British thing, there was a guy who I know who he is because I know him from school, walked past the boat with a short sleeve shirt on, pair of shorts, while it was snowing, and he was eating an ice cream. If I wasn't streaming, my dad's usual thing would be to say, it's snowing today. We'll go out to the beach. But and we get out. The last time we went, he get out the car. You can see the snow on the sand. Do you want an ice cream? I just turned to him and go, no. And he went, I'll just have yours then. It's like, what? You could get me a cup of tea somewhere, not a fucking ice cream. It did blow my sisters when they came over, because they came over maybe 2-3 years before the pandemic, and they came over in winter, which it was like December, November time, so it was freezing and it was snowing. And I think we were walking around the town, just, walking around, and I met an old friend, and he walked up to me. It was snowing, so that both the sisters come from like California, something like that, or they live there, so it's warm for them. and they're all wrapped up in about enough layers that you could roll them down the street in. I'm in my trench coat and a t-shirt and some combat jeans, things I usually wear. He's a farmer. I knew him from school. His parents were farmers, so he was a farmer. He jumped out of his tractor because he recognized who I was in just a t-shirt, some shorts, and sandals. And he went, "Oh, I was just going down to the market. I was going to get some ice." And they went, my poor sister just turned around and said, "The fuck do you need ice for right now?" And no joke, he turned around because he does have a sense of humor. He climbed up into his tractor and pointed. He said his mini fridge had run out of ice. And I went, "Fair enough." And they just looked at me and just went, "Is everyone in this town like that?" And I went, "Everyone in this country is like that." Unless it's going to cause a catastrophic problem to your health and their health, they couldn't give a shit. Not a problem, doesn't matter. But here, probably, yeah. The garage is there, so we'll take a scout car. Let's take the Tartar, no, that way. Hmm. What do you mean you were scaring the customer? Hmm. That is it. Well, you're scaring people. Go back to the car. Yeah. I think it never happened. I wouldn't say publicly. It only happened in school. My mum was escorted out the building twice because she, uh, well, my mum didn't like people not being blunt or honest if there was something wrong I was doing, or just being ignorant and not willing to help me. My graphics teacher despised me because of my mum not being English. She wouldn't say it out loud, but that was her reasoning. And that was her only reasoning, and she hated me from the get-go because of it. Well, because I think when we entered her class, there was four of us in the school, and it was well known that one of the parents was not English. They were not British. But this teacher was almost acting like a xenophobe in that she made you write down the name of your parents and where they were from. Everyone else, name of parents, they came from Manchester, Bolton, London, something like that. Uh, I actually got told off and sent out the room because of my dyslexia. I couldn't spell Wisconsin. So I walked up to the teacher and asked her, "Do you know how to spell Wisconsin?" And she went, "Where's that? America." And she went, "Get out." And I was like, "What?" What? What the hell? I stood outside. A second person came outside. His mother was Polish. The third girl came out. Her father was Polish. And the final guy came out. Either the mother or the father, don't remember which, was also American. But moved here when they were young. Instead of the two Polish lot and my mum who moved there when they were like 30 or 40, something like that. So the last person got let off because technically she saw those Americans as British citizens. But the Polish one and my mother, you're not British, you're have you ever seen like any Harry Potter stuff? I got called Mugblood and then half-breed. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't tell him this to my mum for a little bit because I just didn't want to fight it. It was just too much effort to fight the teacher. I was the only. It's this. The sad thing is, I liked that lesson, so I didn't want to get kicked out of it. So I just kind of sucked up and dealt with it until it came to. Yeah, until it got to a parents' evening. One of only two she was allowed to attend. She said that to my dad's face with my mum being in the background talking to a couple of the parents that we knew. And because I was being given detentions for not completing homeworks, which I did complete them, she just didn't like my handwriting. That was her excuse. So she'd give me detentions for no apparent reason. From my dad's perspective, he was a teacher. So he knew when it was a pointless thing to give me a detention for no real good reason. And then he went, "Do you have any reasoning for why Brendan is not performing well?" And she went, "Because he's a half-breed." And he went, "I'm sorry, I must have heard. What did you just say?" And that's what caught my mum's attention, caught one of the Polish parents' attention who had also just been called that, and he just walked off. The one of the they just walked off, left the student with the teacher. And apparently the only response that she got, well, my dad just went, "I'll take those notes. Where's the head teacher?" And she turned to me, "Where's the headmistress's office?" And I went, "I don't know. I've never been sent there. I don't know." I have no idea. I know where the attendance officer's thing is, so I sent him off that way. My mum then turned around, and she turned around with no hesitation. "So is this the bitch?" And I went, maybe? What? Be specific? Maybe? What do you mean by that? It's like, is this the one because you're half-breed? I was told to wait at the entrance of the hall, or at least go talk to another teacher. You could have heard that argument from, like, Manchester. That argument, she was forced to apologize, obviously. That made my life no better. Because I came in the next day, I sat with because she'd grouped the four of us that didn't have British parents in a clump and would not help us. And we also had the best graded pieces of work as well for not being babysitted by a dipshit teacher. So I come in, And I get told, you don't sit there anymore. And I was like, okay, where do I sit now? She put me on a table where she puts all of her shit in the morning. Where there was not even enough room to put a pencil down. So I had to clean it all off. I went out the room to go get art supplies. I even talked to one of the other art teachers, told her what she'd done. I went, it's not the first time she's done it. I come back, she'd put all the stuff back on my desk, and she said that wasn't the proper way to clean it, do it again. So I just grabbed it to the side and I pushed it onto her desk, and I went, no, I don't think I will. And I got sent straight to the attendance office. She sent me to the attendance office and went, this boy is being trouble on purpose, he should be excluded. What that is you get put in a room for a day and you can't talk to anyone, and you do the work. You either do work or you just sit there in silence for a day. But exclusion is you don't go to school for a day, which is given to truancy kids who on purpose don't want to do any lessons. I was doing all the work she gave me, so I don't know why it exceeded exclusion. She then got in more trouble for... We had journals to write down homework and notes and things like that. And you got given... It sounds childish now thinking about it. You got given two kinds of stamps. You got given a green stamp if you'd done homework, completed work, been well behaved. If you got a red stamp, that was a warning, and if you got 3 of them in a row, it was a detention. She evidently was upset that I was best friends with the attendance officer, Coral, because we had what's her name? We had an agreement of when I had to go to shows, she would mention to all the teachers, hey, could you get him homework assignments early so he could do them while he was away? She was completely fine with that. Apparently, because when she said you're excluded, get out, she wouldn't let me take any of my stuff with me. When I came back to the room, my journal was gone. Which is, that's a bad thing to lose, because that has every homework assignment you have to do in it. It got handed in anonymously by another student who knew me, found my journal in Mrs. desk because she'd opened it and put it on the desk, and he'd snatched it and ran to the attendance office with it. But while he was running there, he mentioned that he opened it. It was filled with red stamps. She had covered even my homework assignments, which I had bad memory. I couldn't remember all of them. She'd covered all the year's worth of pages in formal warning stamps. So me and Coral, we couldn't prove it, of course, because she'd done it when no one was around. And the only person that got the evidence that it had been done was a kid that I knew in the younger years. It was a brother of a guy I knew when he was still in the high school I was at. Had got it and run out of the classroom to give it to her. So, conveniently, when Coral went to ask this teacher about it, conveniently, her formal warning stamp had disappeared. Conveniently. I went out to her car and it was sat on her dash. So she didn't even do that good of a job in hiding the fucking thing in the first place. The second parents' evening, my mum, it was the last one my mum went to, and she went in the graphics teacher saw my mum and went home. She was terrified of her, which is rightly fair. So, I mean, you know. She wasn't supposed to go home. She was physically meant to stay there and, give slips out to students. No, she just went home. Gave no reason. She just left. And it was like, I mean, I know the reason. That's pretty damn obvious. I know the fucking reason why she's gone. Yeah. It didn't get any better for me with her. She got a lot more offensive. Wasn't the only teacher. That school was pretty nasty to me as well. It was highly mentioned beforehand that or it was pre-mentioned to me by an American teacher that I had. My first English teacher was American. She pre-mentioned, for your own good, don't tell anyone one of your parents is not English. Because they will just not accept it at all. Also, don't tell people you have dyslexia. Don't tell people you're bad with numbers. Just act dumb. You'll get treated better that way. That's what I was warned with. I decided not to listen because I thought it was wrong. That I had to pretend to be fucking stupid. She had her. You see, I'm more devious without the thing. I had plenty of stuff on her because there's like it's just the thing that you don't do. What she used to do is because graphics and art entailed a lot of work. Usually there'd be a group of us that would stay after school for like 2-3 hours getting work done, just to make sure it was done. So what she would do is bring her children from nursery and just leave them in the graphics room with us and say, oh, they're your responsibility now. I'm going off to spend time with girlfriends or whatever. So she would leave her 2 8-year-old nightmares with us and then complain to us that they just sat there crying. And it's like, well, yeah, they're not our children. We're not sitting there looking after them for you. That's not our problem. She got very much told off for that. And then nobody did anything to stop her because simply a lot of teachers, even the board of teachers, didn't want to deal with her. There was no good replacement for a graphics teacher, and they just didn't want to deal with her. So, because supply teachers don't know what they're doing, and you really don't want to be in GCSE and A level with a supply teacher that doesn't know what they're doing. All the other teachers I had literally no problem at all that I wasn't fully English. Although to even state that, I was born here. I didn't come from the town. She didn't even come from the town that the school was in. She lived 50, 45 miles away. Which is a fairly long commute to just teach for a day and then go home. So she didn't even live here. I wasn't born here, but I live here now. I've lived here since I was 11, I think. Uh, but because of that incident, because it was when I started getting new teachers, I would physically go up to them because I thought that was normal at the time. Do you have a problem that my family is half American? And a good set of them would say no. But because of that teacher saying that, I would assume that that's a problem. Playing Snowrunner in story time again. Yeah, yeah, I have a smaller version of that. Hmm. Hmm. Well, technically, the graphics teacher wasn't the worst one because I had another experience before that graphics teacher that was. I've told Wes about it and I've told Hex about it because it affected me quite badly in that I genuinely thought I was retarded because of the way I was put. There was a maths teacher when I just arrived, maybe like the second or third year of high school, and they knew I was slow with numbers, but they refused to diagnose me because that would cost money. So, because the school can just send in a doctor and have me diagnosed, but that costs them money. And they have no reason to tell the parents, so I'm just there with it. Um, I was put on a table with a big star, and when I looked at the star, I hadn't looked at that star for days, but I finally thought, do you know what? I'll look at it because I was friends with all the people on the table. To put a perspective on the table, two of the people on the table were autistic. There was nothing wrong with them, they were just on the spectrum. One of them was in a wheelchair. I'd known that girl since primary school. And one of them had a mental disorder that affected how she thought. But I was put on their table, and we were all put together. And the star just said, well, we flipped it over and it said damaged goods. But on the other side, it just said retarded stars. We were all put on a table that literally said retarded stars and damaged goods. A girl in a wheelchair, two people with autism, one person who was on the spectrum, not sure of what, but. And I just looked at it and I went, I did look at to one of the girls I knew who had autism, and I did look at her and I went, "Do I look like I'm retarded?" And she went, "What do you mean?" And I just pointed at the star on the desk, and she went, she has no, she had no filter. She didn't know when things not to say and when to say it. So she did just turn around to the teacher and yell, and I think she just yelled, "You bitch!" It's like she had no, she didn't know that was not completely the right thing to say. She just saw that and turned around, put the dots together, and just went, "You fucking bitch!" And I was like, "Well, that's fair. That is fair." because of her, all math teachers apart from one, because I failed maths the first time, didn't get me diagnosed. If you fail maths in such a catastrophic way, you're supposed to have a diagnosis put on you. Didn't get one. I failed it the second time. Results got worse. I did try the first 5 times. The next other 5 times, I simply opened the book, looked at the questions, closed it. Of the exam paper, because there was no point in, attempting it when I wasn't going to pass it. But then every teacher just thought I was stupid. There was a point in sixth form, which is college, pretty much. It's if you stay in high school instead of going to another place, it's sixth form, which is just college. There was a group of us that got put into an after-school maths class. Most of the people that were in there was because a set of them went to a college that was funded by the school that they came from Todd High. And then they stopped funding the college and they had to redo all of their 2 years of work because it was defunct. So they got put in this maths class. I remember one of the maths teachers walking up to me. I was struggling with a complex question. It wasn't an easy question. It was complex. And he went, "Are you special?" And I went, "No, sir, I'm not special today, but I could try again tomorrow if you like." Because I didn't care. So he walked up with a whiteboard and put with no, and this is not a joke, he put 1 + 1 on it and he said, "Do you know what the answer to this is?" So being the ass that I was, I did just say window. Sir, look, it's a window, yay! I was sat there with like 4 of the other mates who knew I wasn't like that, and they all just laughed, knowing that I was not in the mood to be treated like a child. And then I turned around very quietly and just looked at him and went, "Now, if you treat me like something I'm not again, I'll do worse than just pretend to be stupid for you. I can make your life a living fucking misery. And you'll wish you'd never put me in this class." And eventually, I think my dad or my mum made the decision of I didn't need maths for what I was going for, which was art at the time. I didn't need it. Wasn't necessary. So they went, "Yeah, he's just not going to turn up to those." And they went, "The maths teachers disagree." And they went, "They won't disagree if I just don't turn up. They won't have a choice." And I just didn't turn up. And I waited in the common room and they stood out. 2 of them just stood outside the common room and stared at me. And I wrote on a piece of paper and held it up to them. "You'll be standing there until I actually have to go to a lesson, but I can bypass you and take the other doors to Wood Tech. I could just go out the fire escape and go all the way around the building." And they stood there for an hour, and then the bell rang, and they locked the door, which other people needed to get out of. And I was like, "Okay." And I just opened the fire escape and went out the other way. They really didn't think I'd do it. The fire escape didn't fucking work. The alarm on it was broken, so. Yeah, my school sucked, so. See, I expected it from certain students. I expected to get picked on because what was the go-to for most students that wanted to pick on me? Oh, your mum's American? Why are you so thin then? Excuse me? Oh, well, all Americans look like Homer Simpson. No, they don't. For one, they're not yellow. And two, they're not all fat. British people are fatter than Americans. What? You want to go again? Like, you want to try again? Like, or there's like, I'd open a door and a group of them would follow around clapping, going, "He's smart. He can open a door." And it's like, cool. And I'd shut the door in their face. I'm going, I'm smart enough to do that too. It was not easy, but I just passed with what grades I needed and left and disappeared. I mean, high school was pretty bad. The worst was sixth form because I'd made enemies at that school. Go figure. Pretty much because they didn't like the idea that usually if there was someone in my position and they were being treated this way, 80% of them would just back down and let it happen. Because I was brought up by my mum and the American side of my family, I was not brought up to just give up. I was gonna fucking fight it. So they did not like that I fought back. They hated the idea that I had the guts to stand up for myself. Now, unfortunately for me, one of the people I'd made enemies with was the head of my sixth form. Which made life living hell, as you can imagine. One of them was actually screwed me over way worse than any word she could throw at me. When I was picking lessons, because I picked art, and this isn't crucial, I picked art, I picked English, I picked product design, and most importantly, I picked computer editing. Now that's artwork on a computer, which my dad was coming close to the door. That's my food is here. And computer design. And what the sixth form head failed to mention is that class got disbanded and changed to computer science. And computer science is very maths heavy because that's binary code and making websites, things that you really need to know maths to do. I didn't realize this because I just thought there'll be an introductory to binary, go figure, and then it'll go to that. I think I walked up. I didn't walk up to the teacher because he was intimidating. He was friendly once you got to know him, but he was intimidating for a reason. And I walked up to him, or the mate walked up to me from me. So, hey, sir, just a quick question. That computer design thing, do you know whatever happened to it? Why it got disbanded? And I was like, I was told nobody picked it. I was one of 15 people that picked that lesson, but because I picked it, it got disbanded. And he went, it got disbanded. It's like, what if I told you 15 people, including 6 of the people in this lesson picked it, and then it got disbanded without them being told about it, and then they were just dumped in this class. And he went, well, I tell you what, whoever did it, A, is a bitch and really fucking hates you. And he went, could you point out the people who that got done to? And she pointed to most of the people were in my arts class. That's why we picked it. And 2 of them were in my product design class. So it's like, he went, oh, now I can see why. Because he knew exactly who I was. And he had no problems with me. He was proud of me for standing up for myself. He was one of the few that openly mentioned that that was a good thing for me to do. But he did look at me and 2 or 3 other people that had the same thing. 2 of them were Muslim and had the same problem with the graphics teacher for similar reasons. She was that kind of racist, yes. And he went, you have no idea how many enemies you've made. And I went, well, shouldn't have been a bitch about it then. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with any of that. And he just went, I tell you what, because he mentioned this to all of us, the school at the time, to point out how bad my school was, the first headmistress that I had got fired for allowing certain teachers to indulge in touchy-feely things with students. She knew it was happening, she just decided not to stop it because it wasn't important. So she got found out and fired. The second headmaster, he was a tiny guy with a temper. But he got things done as far as we knew. And then suddenly, a month before I started sixth form, he disappeared. The school had just got a grant from the lottery, because you can get that from schools, of £1 million to help revamp the school because it was built in the 60s. He'd taken that money and disappeared. With that money, he also took the money that was supposed to pay teachers with. Which means including my product design teacher, one of my art teachers, my computer science teacher, most of the business teachers hadn't been paid for a year. And were simply there just because they believed in the students. But he did mention, I don't really mind if you pay no attention to this lesson, because I won't be here for that long. And a month later, he quit, along with 7 or 8 other teachers, because they weren't getting paid. And then for the people who actually cared about computer science, to top it all off, we got probably the worst news you could get. 2.5 years into the computer science course, we got given some really bad news about what the school had actually done to that session. There was a kind of binary we were being taught. Nobody had taught that kind of binary for 15 years. We were given 4 months to learn the new kind of binary and do the exam. What that pretty much meant is a good set of us that took so much time, and I put a lot of effort into attempting to learn some kind of maths I was never going to understand. I put a lot of effort into trying to learn it. What that pretty much meant is everyone that couldn't figure it out the first variant was never going to figure out the new one. Also, the coding software, which we were using, I think was Python, it was called. The government had changed what program schools should use. They decided to change that 2 months before the exam and were forcing teachers to reteach students in 2 months an entirely new coding system, which means they would have to redo all of their work in 2 months. Our new teacher, which he technically could have got in trouble for, but he felt bad that 80% of his class was going to fail because of a school error and a government blunder. So what he did was he found the answers to the exam paper and told us to memorize it. And he said, that's all I can do for you. That's literally all I can do. Because he said, I'm good. And he was a great teacher. I'm not Einstein. I can't teach even the best of you a new coding software and a new kind of binary in 4 months. I can't do that. Out of the 18, 19 people that were in our class, 2 people passed. And they were whizzes with maths and computers. So that made sense that those 2 were passed. We put bets on those 2 passing. The rest of us didn't even get close to 20%. It was bad. And they went, oh, well, we'd give you compensation. And then they looked at our papers and they went, yeah, you don't deserve it. So you'll just get the 20%, which is a fail. It's just like, I don't care. I passed product design and I passed art and I got kicked out of English because they wouldn't let me leave computer science. So I physically got the option of, hey, I shouldn't be in computer science. Can I leave? I go up to the head of faculty, who hates me, and the second head of faculty, who likes me. Because they're like my parents, so they're like me. Can I leave computer science and keep English, product design, and art? And they went, you can only leave English. Why? Because it's impossible for you to leave a maths class. Why? Why would it be impossible for me to leave a maths class? Because you're too clever for it. I don't fucking think so. You're looking at the guy that's failed maths now. Wait for it 7 times in a row. So I don't think you're thinking your head's on straight. So I was forced to leave English because I had no other option. Actually, my other option was to leave every other lesson and just keep English. That's what she threatened me with. And I was just like, can I talk to my parents about it? No, you have to decide now. Suspicious much? No, it's not. It's school policy. And I went, no, it's your. I got quite angry and I did say it's your Nazism policy, but sure. I'm pretty sure I called her Stasi. So. Oh. Right. Let me recover my truck and go get my food before it freezes. What map was I doing? We'll load into British Columbia. I would say, chat, that you'd be left with someone to talk to, but you can't hear it, so you're, you're, you yes, you would. So yeah, I will be back in like just a minute so I can get my food, and then we'll be good to go again. And it's like I was never gone. I'm back. Right. You good? Oh. I was like, I almost wondered what you were playing, and then you said that, and I was like, nah, Chivalry. Hmm. That is true. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. That's like there was a genuine interest in me moving from Britain and its entirety, just because everything about this town is those memories, and they won't go away. They're not going away anytime soon. And then everyone that did everything nasty to me lives here still. That's why I don't go outside. Log load. Why is a log loader crane required? Am I gonna have to fucking get logs for this place? We'll see. I'll drive there first, and then we'll see. I do vaguely remember the one time I went out, which is why I now don't go out anymore. I went out to meet a girl, not on a date, she just wanted to talk to me. And I think we were walking through the market, which if you're gonna get jumped, that's the place you're gonna get jumped at. And she pointed out that somebody was following me, because they weren't following her, because she would have noticed. Like, you know, it would have been obvious if they were following her. She was quite an attractive girl, so she would notice if somebody was paying attention to her. She's used to it. But they mentioned that they were more interested in me because I fell behind because I dropped something. She kept walking and they stopped moving. So they were more interested in me. So I turned around and they scattered. They hid behind things. And then I turned around again. She was still looking that way. And they came back out the shadows to try and follow me again. And I was like, I think I know a place we can lose them, but I almost want to see what they want. There's a part of me that just wants to know what they want, just, you know, just in case it's something, yeah. There was only one guy in that group that I semi-recognized, and he was not strong enough to hurt me. I, at the time, was a lot fitter. I did some running, and I did boxing. So I could defend myself if it was necessary. It was not, I wasn't afraid of anyone attacking me. But what I did notice is two of them kept grabbing at something in their hoodie pocket, and they had handles on them. So I could tell that they looked like knives. So they had weapons, and they were following me. And they were only interested in me, which was slightly concerning. So we walked around a couple of the back streets, just past the canal, which, if you don't know where you're going, really easy to lose someone. We're gonna get this far, okay. See what the Sawmill Bridge takes first before we go off that way again. So I corner one of them, and I recognize who it is, and it's the brother of a sister who used to bully me because of the Americanisms. And I went, oh, I see she can't be bothered to do her own dirty work, I see. Come on, then. And he lunged for me, and I just slapped the knife out of his hand. It was a butter knife. I don't fucking know, but it was a butter knife. It was a butter knife that he'd put a combat knife grip on to make it look like he had a knife, but instead he had a butter knife. I looked at him and I went, "Are you fucking stupid? What is wrong with you?" I did have a I had a Swiss Army knife in my hand, so I wasn't afraid to use it if necessary. I went, this is a knife. I flicked out and I put it back in, and I put it in my pocket, and I went, I'm not afraid to use that one on you, and I promise you that one will hurt you. This is a knife. Yeah. So he went, their whole premise, and it's bizarre to me, which is why I'm single. Why I'm single. They didn't like seeing me happy, or that I was with someone. They thought I was on a date. First off, First off, they had someone follow me when I left home. Then they saw that I met a girl. So he said he went back and called his sister and said he's met a girl. She immediately assumed I was on a date. I wasn't. She was an old friend. She was depressed and she wanted someone to talk to. And I always offered to any friends that needed talking to, just tell me where to meet you and I'll talk to you. That's all I was doing. She had a boyfriend. I had no interest in dating her. So it's like, she just wanted a friend to talk to. That was all. So I literally turned to him and I went, you are the dimmest motherfucker. But I tell you what, if I ever get happy, it won't be here. That I can promise you. Like, if I'm ever going to be happy, it's going to be nowhere near this fucking town. So they all scattered, or they all scurried off once they realised I wasn't on a date. Caught up with the girl and explained what happened. But she went, they haven't all gone. I called the guy back and he went, what about those two that are following me? And he went, oh, they're nothing to do with me, but they were following us to get to you. I was like, okay. Do you want to explain to me why I'm being followed? And they went, oh, those people just genuinely don't like your existence, don't want you to be alive. So they're willing to just end you. I would he suddenly changed his tone, realizing that he said, do you know, I really don't like my sister and I'm sorry that I tried to do that to you. I would recommend you don't go outside. Just don't. It's not worth it. Pretty much, yeah. And he went, if you have to go outside in this town by yourself, call a mate, have him walk with you, because they won't touch you if you're with someone else. I think the only reason they're not coming near you right now is because you're with a girl. I went, oh. I went, oh. So if I was with a boy and we were just, I did this because everyone apart from him, because I knew him, everyone in his family had a disposition to same-sex couples. So I walked up to him because he went, so your sister's here, right? And she went, she's in the car over there. And I went, wouldn't it be funny if we just kissed, right? As a joke. But wouldn't it be funny if we just did it? Because it'd piss her the hell off. And he went, ah, fuck it. And we did just sit there and we just kissed each other and walked off. And he didn't go to the same school, but he arrived at the gate and he went, I got kicked out of the house. I got kicked out of the house. Went, why'd you get kicked out of the house? And he went, because my sister said I kissed a boy, and I said I liked it. Funny. No, I don't think I have, no. Oh. I think the second girl I ever asked out was already in that orientation. I'm pretty sure, as somebody pointed out, she was literally flirting with me just out of interest, I believe is how someone put it. But she was already of that orientation. It was like, okay, I'll just I'll just go stand over here and go fuck myself, right? Okay, cool, right? She did, bless her. She said she didn't mean to, and she tried so desperately to set me up with like I think 2 or 3 people. And I was like, I am not interested in those two. That's for sure. That's the way to the logging station. I was also considering maybe for a stream thing as an end of year thing. Because I'm about to say how bad can it get, but Kote was responsible for so close of getting me in trouble. Uh, I might do another Jackbox stream or two closer to Christmas, just as a thing. As pre-stated, there were questions that came up about, because Jackbox gives you an option to censor bad words, because as it states in the options, we're not responsible for your friends being offensive. And I just went, you can do dark humor, just don't go too far. That was my only rule. You can do dark humor. I like dark humor. That's not the issue. Just don't go too far. Now, there was a question that I picked, and I realized I made a mistake because it involved planes hitting buildings. Now, thank God there wasn't a joke to do with that event. However, there was, I think it was Kote, or it was either Kote or Mason, that did put the answer of, what if planes aren't in control of their pilots and hit buildings? Something like that. Which was as close as they could get. And it's like, thank God you can't play Cards Against Humanity on the console. It would lead to a lot. That's what we did in sixth form when we were finished with our work. There was rows of computers that literally nobody would use, and nobody used the computer with the projector, so one of us would log into the computer with a projector, and the rest of us would be sat around either on our phones or on the PCs, and we would just play Cards Against Humanity. And I'm pretty sure I remember one of the times one of the technicians asked us why there were certain things being said that were maybe not the smartest things to say. Yeah. Well, we were all I think I was the only person at the time, because it was June. I was the only person that was 18. So I was the only one that wasn't told off, because I was technically an adult and it was okay. But everyone else, you shouldn't be near bad influences like me. And I was like, well, they wrote worse things than I. Well, maybe. Maybe I wrote worse things that day. I hate logging so much. Oh, that's why I hate it so much. That's why I hate it so much. Oh my god. Yeah. Yep. There's a gladness that you are muted. Do you want cat? Of course, Parisian would be a cat. Yeah. As I say to Fang every time when Wes is not here, you might as well get them while she is not here. Like, well done, you got the cat. Don't you do it again. I hate logging trailers so much. Reversing a hitched trailer is hard enough. But reversing a hitched trailer that has its own turning point at the front. Okay, come on. Come on. There's a good girl. Come on. Yes. Okay. That's the difficult bit done. Now I'm going to turn on the beacons because it'll make for comedic value when I flip over and the safety beacons are still on. I hate logging, but this is the smallest mission I can do because all the big missions really do require... Technically, they recommend 3 people for those big missions, but me and Mason have been doing them just fine, so... Oh... I just about saved myself there. And from all the way back here with fairly good noise cancelling headphones, I can still hear my dad talking to his mother. Because Gran doesn't understand the concept of if she's on speaker, she does not have to yell down the other end of the phone. Especially when she's in a hospital. The hell are you stuck on? Come on. Oh, this thing does not have the horsepower to get up this hill. Oh, I'm seeing what I'm stuck on. No. Not good. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Eh. God. If people wonder, how do you sit here for 3 hours in Snowrunner? I sit here for 3 hours in Snowrunner because I don't go anywhere. And what's one of the things on my list? To play this for 24 hours if I hit... What is it? 300 followers or something like that, or 350. I'll do 24 hours of this. Okay. Something. You're looking at what 20 of the hours would be like. My entire mission has been stopped because my truck can't drive over a piece of wood. Alright. Well. I actually need to put the fucking recovery bed on here so it has a central winch. No? Do you not have that? Okay. Just think you all have the luxury of next week you'll be able to watch me play some 76 again, because there's actually an update coming out for that game on Tuesday. What operations, I guess? I think it was the expeditions to fucking... Yeah. Well, I believe if I'm right, since I've got time, I can look. It's another expedition, I think, and then some weapon changes, stuff like that. Don't remember what exactly. Let me see. It's the fact that I have a ridiculous amount of hours in Fallout 76, and I am nowhere near max level. I think 500 is when you stop getting the legendary slots for cards. You can keep leveling up, but I think the benefits stop when you get to 500, I believe. Alright. It's called The Big Score. Season 15 of fucking that game. And yes, it adds an expedition to Atlanta City. Like, it's almost got like casino heist-esque thingies to it, I guess, is the deal with that, maybe? Yeah, maybe. It's another excuse to play Fallout 76 again, I guess. Every time I log into the fucking Fallout site, we've noticed you haven't purchased Fallout first. Yeah, I know. Has it occurred to you there's a reason for that? Because for 12 months it is still $99.99. Like, at least me paying for the full PS Ultimate and everything, that's worth the 100 quid a year. But just for 76 for some extra things in the battle pass and a camp that you can put down anywhere, 80% of the time when you're in a squad with someone, or you're in a team, not squads, they're teams, when you're in a team with someone, they have first and they have a camp that you can use to fast travel to. So what? Yeah. Look who it is. Welcome to the stream, Wesper.
Hello, I'm already gonna complain.
Of course you are. Go on.
This
I'm already
motherfucker.
deep, dark, depressed playing fucking Snowrunner for an hour. Go on.
Okay, well, Mason is helping his sister's husband.
I would
Anyways,
imagine he is busy.
so he fucking calls me, not Mason. He calls me and he tells me that he didn't get any of the skins or the operators or anything from Modern Warfare 2 since he spent $70 to also get Modern Warfare 2. The whole thing was you bought Modern Warfare 2, then 3. But he's stupid and he wanted to get Modern Warfare 3, thinking that everything that Modern Warfare 2 had, he was gonna get in Modern Warfare 3. And he called me and he was bitching and he yelling at me and getting fucking angry at me for no fucking reason. Because he didn't get in the fucking skins and he wasted $70 twice. He wasted $140 fucking and gonna complain to me about that? I don't give a fuck what you waste your goddamn money on. Don't bitch at me. And then call me and try and get me to fix your fucking issue. Well, what am I supposed to do at my work? Huh? How am I supposed to fix your fucking issue? Huh? Stupid ass white boys. God, I hate you.
Well, if you wanted excitement out of a very dull Snowrunner stream where I'm talking to myself because you can't hear Boomer, you got it from Wes. So. Oh, bastard. Son of a bitch. There we go. You done? I don't. You're making You're making boomer-like noises now. What's going on? The screeching and screams that you do.
I want to fucking. I want to hurt something. I want to violently hurt something.
Oh, I don't feel pain anymore that much. You could always hit me if you like.
No.
I don't get anything
I
out of
already
it.
told him that I was trying to order food, and he's just still sitting there fucking whining, complaining. Half the time I can't hear him because of the fucking audio cutting out and him sitting in bad fucking spots in the house and shit. Like, I don't give a shit about your fucking problem. I can't do anything because I'm not there. Dumbass. Yes.
Yes.
God, he's so fucking stupid. And I'm sitting here trying to tell him, hey, I want to order food. I haven't ate yet. I'm going to go. And then he still is like going on and on. I'm like, all right, look, I love you. I'm hanging up so I can get food. He's like, okay, I'm sorry. Hey, you better be fucking sorry. How long has it been? 30 minutes.
Not the pickpack. How could you let the pickpackers stray?
Chat, I am not sorry. I hope this entertains you of me complaining about my terrible life.
No. Your lucky
No.
Fang is not here, I don't think.
Fang! Back!
She's my new moderator. I'd be careful what you say. No, but she watches the VODs to get clips for me sometimes. Yeah, that got you quiet, didn't it?
You're also from
So
Kentucky.
from Kentucky. Yes. Yes.
You also have asbestos brain, so shut the fuck up.
Asbestos brain.
Asbestos brain. Shut the fuck up. You have cancer, my good sir.
I think she said cancer in a very racist voice. And now she's gone. All right. Wes arrived into the stream. She ranted about something, and then she left again. Yep. Just because nobody can hear you doesn't mean I don't want it. I want to hear you. And I'm unfortunately a nice person. So I'm gonna redrive. I have to redrive this truck all the way out here because I fucking blocked the road with the truck I was pulling. Honestly, it's so damn cold. It's been about 2 hours. So it hasn't been a long stream today. I apologize for that, but I want to eat my food before it loses all form of warmth, and I'm eating frozen fish. I'm not a polar bear. And two, it's just too damn cold. My fingers. So, sorry for the shorter stream today, but it is a Friday, so it's, Who can I raid you off to? Ship will do. Yes, you will. I spelled chip wrong. Leave me alone. Hold on. Yes, I knew the irony. I live on a boat and I spelled chip wrong. Ha 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 ha. I preset it just in case. Well, I hope everyone has a wonderful Friday evening or afternoon, and I shall see you all on Monday. Hope everyone has a nice weekend. Stay warm, and I shall see you all later.